A story is told that many years ago in Harvard University, I think over 100 years ago, if I may say, a professor was teaching physics, and he was deriving a formula that you can use to calculate energy. And professor worked on it, and several times the answer was not forthcoming. Until one young man put up his hand and asked his professor to excuse him, that he may just run to the washrooms to relieve himself. And when the young man was out there, professor told the class, I've worked out this thing several times, but guys, let me tell you, this thing is impossible. But if you so wish to go and continue with it, so be it. And the professor walked out. When the young man returned from the washrooms, he found that professor had left. And he asked his colleagues in class, what did professor say finally about this thing? And his desk mate told him, professor said, you want to go home with it as an homework. And the young man went home, worked on the professor's assignment without knowing that actually professor told the class that the thing is impossible. And everybody else went home, trying it a bit, and just gave up and said, professor said this thing is impossible. And everybody else could not even work out the thing for like 3 or 5 or so minutes, because they had it in mind that professor had concluded that the thing is impossible. But the young man who never knew that the thing is impossible because he was out when professor was telling the class that the thing is impossible, worked on the professor's assignment, burned the midnight oil. And you know what, guys? Today, courtesy of a young man who never knew it is impossible, we have the formula E is equals to MC squared. The young man never had it in mind that the thing is impossible. And I can tell you, many of us today are there in life, never able to work out some things. Why? Because somebody told you that it is impossible. And I want to challenge you today, wherever you are, keep it in your mind that you don't know it is impossible. And you know what? You want to work it out. It is all in the mind, the mindset. The entire class was spoiled into finding out the formula of calculating energy by a professor who declared the thing is impossible. Thank God for a young man who never had the professor. And today, whoever the professor has been in your life, whether you saw your mother, this professor, telling you that you can't do it, whether it was your father or your aide mate, somebody who dismissed you somewhere, I want to challenge you, free your mind from that very professor who nailed your mind into not thinking beyond or stretching. Why? Because he declared to you that it can't be done. Somebody told me, by the way, the word impossible in itself says, I am possible. I am possible. And somebody else also said, everything is possible. Even the word itself declares, but there is something that inhibits its functionality. What is it? He called it the individual's mentality. I am. The rest is possible. It is possible or impossible based on the individual's mentality. What do you think? Thank you.